Welcome to Everyday Life. Thank you for joining our podcast, Conversations Over Coffee. My name is Jen.
And I'm Dagda.
And we're going to hit you with the explicit content warning right off the bat. This podcast does include adult situations and adult language from time to time.
I'm an angel. I never fucking cuss.
Okay. Anyways, you ready to go?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go.
Anyhow.
Anywho's, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Enjoying the color of the leaves changing. It's so pretty out there. It's very coppery.
It's copper tone.
It's not summertime. Jackass. So, when we worked at the shop, is that when you discovered Audibles? Was around that same time? Or like, were you like really into it when it first started? When like Audibles first started?
No, it was while we were working. I think you were there when I first started listening to them. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just before you started working there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had been out for, 5 or 7 years at that point.
Yeah, I know Audibles have been out for a while at that point. I just didn't know if like you had started with at the same time or not.
No, I definitely didn't start listening. They had already been bought by Amazon, I do believe, when I started listening to them.
Oh,
although
wow.
I had listened to audiobooks before, but they weren't Audible.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many different ways to listen to audiobooks now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got there's a lot of local libraries have Hoopla, or they have, which you can do online and download through your phone.
Some of them have Libby also, which is a similar app.
Right. And then you've got,
anyways,
so, I used to listen to, this is going to date me. I would listen to books on tape. I've listened to books on tape, so when it was on cassette. And when we were in the library, stopping in the library the other day, I actually noticed they had several that were not on tape, but on CD. Yeah. And I think that's a really good way for people. There's a huge selection out there too, which really surprised me. So I want to definitely possibly explore that more. I don't know. I can, it's not multitasking, but I can rapidly go through a series of events. So it looks like it's multitasking everybody else, right? There's no true multitasking. We know this, right?
Yeah.
And he just rolled his eyes for the first time at me today that I noticed. This is awesome. But I don't have a CD player on this. So then I got to go out to the garage. I got to pull in my boom box and all of that. And so I'm kind of like on the fence about it. But I was thinking about it simply because I'd seen a little blurb, when you first turn on your PC and you've got your Mozilla or your Safari or whatever your main search engine is, and that has all those little articles. And there was one, and I clicked on it briefly, but I feel like it was just an advertisement for it. But it was just why it's important now more than ever to discover audiobooks. Okay. And I was just and so basically it was just there's a big sale going on. It was just clickbait, basically.
For Audible or?
It just said audiobooks.
Okay.
Capital A, UDIO, capital B, OOKS. So I don't know if it's a separate thing, if it's a specific thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just but it did make me kind of go in my brain because so last week you lent me a book and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it should be no surprise. I knew who did it by time I hit chapter. As soon as you talked to the wife, I knew who did it.
Okay.
Because he had talked at that point about soul gazing and she wouldn't soul gaze. And I was like, there's no reason for her not to do that unless she's aware of what can happen when you soul gaze. So obviously either her husband did it or she did it. One of the two.
I mean, is that the first time he talks about soul gazing?
It's the second time in the book he talks about soul gazing.
Okay. Because he talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, you've only read the one book, but it's a common thing.
Yeah, he discusses it 4 or 5 times in the book.
Yeah.
And little blurbs, not big blurbs. The biggest blurb was probably in the very beginning, the first 5 chapters. He talks about being at Now, I don't know if you caught this. What's the name of the pub he likes to go to?
McAnally's.
That is not correct. Anally is anally. It is.
The name of the club is McAnally's because that's the name of the dude who runs it.
I understand that, but when you read it, that is most certainly not how it reads. If you're reading it properly, that's not how it reads.
That is how you pronounce it.
Again, I understand this, but it's not how you read it. And I wonder how many people are sitting there going,
I want to say that's a legitimate name, but I don't know.
Maybe it is. All I know is that when you look at it, being an English speaking person and learning the English language, as fucked up as we are, I was just like, McAnally? Why is he going to some place called McAnally?
No, it's McAnally.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that because I was giggled every time I read.
Well, the funny thing is I've never actually read the book.
Oh, yeah.
So I've always known the proper pronunciation. That is one problem, especially with sci-fi and fantasy. Mm-hmm. In fact, I had a conversation with Cheryl about this, and we were talking about how she preferred sci-fi over fantasy because there was so much just made up words.
Yeah.
And she was like, how do I know how to pronounce it? And I was like, it doesn't really matter, does it? For you, it's whatever. It's Mechanally or whatever.
Oh, no, it's fine. You told me how to pronounce it. I'll never see it that way again.
It's kind of like there's a series out there, a long-running series called the Shannara
Chronicles.
Mm-hmm. And the way you're supposed to pronounce it is Shannara.
Yeah.
That's the way the author intended it to be.
Shannara, yeah.
But everybody says Shannara, so eventually he stopped correcting people and just said, fuck it, it's Shannara.
Yeah, I mean, it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because the story, when you read it and you read the words the way you read it, the story, it tends to become more your own. And you can have that discussion. And it's amazing when, like you're like, it's McAnally's and you are dead set on it. And I'm just like, okay. And in my head, I'm going, I understand that you've heard it as McAnally's. Mm-hmm. But the way it's written is not McAnally's. It's MC, which is Mick. And then
Mac. It depends upon. It can go either way.
I'm just doing a phonetic on it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The way it's actually pronounced can be either way. It depends upon.
Right. But it doesn't change the fact that it is still spelled anally. But see, that's how I knew that you probably had heard it on Audibles. And if you had read it, it had to have been when it first came out 25 years ago, because I'm just like, there's no way he wouldn't have snickered at this. There's no way he wouldn't have giggled at this, especially doing 15 years in the industry for me, 21 years in the industry for you.
Yeah.
So I just like, that's funny. I was like, and then as I read, and then I read some of the descriptive things, I was like, oh, no wonder he likes this series, because this is like Nerdvana right here.
Yeah.
You know,
one kind of funny thing is that there's a lot of sexual content in the first book.
Yeah.
But the rest of the series doesn't have a whole lot of that in it.
Yeah.
It's just because of the situation that's happening in the first book.
which is hilarious when he's stuck in that circle. Like, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
It's so great. It's just so great because I like how he was just like, you know, I'd like to think I'm a gentleman kind of thing. And it's just like, you know, I don't know. I enjoyed it just because it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a lighthearted read, because the descriptions of what happened to the victims was not fun.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just like, oh, that's not that gory. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. It's really not that gory. But when you put it into a magical context of nobody physically did that happened via magic, I'm like, oh, that'd be pretty fucking painful, you know? Maybe
because you never see one of them actually happen, so you don't know how long. Well, given the position that the original two bodies are in, it probably happened really quickly.
Yeah. And that kind of seems to be the way he describes it. Like, that's the whole point, because they're drawing power from that sexual frenzy. You know, because that was the whole, like when he breaks it down towards the end of the book and he's just like, oh, I get it. So you, this is how wizards can draw power. Boop, 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 boom. Right. And then he's just like, oh, but because you went to the dark side, then you needed more and more and more. And then you figured out how to channel this sexual energy into, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. I enjoyed the book. I have put a request in with, because I don't, you know, obviously I don't have the books, but they have a few copies of a few different things apparently now available at the library. So I put a request in. I still haven't heard back yet, which makes me sad, but I don't even know where the one branch where it's supposed to be at, where the fuck that branch is located. So anyways.
Hey, did you mention what you were actually reading? I don't think you mentioned the book that you actually read.
I didn't. Would you like to tell them?
It's the Dresden Files. It's the
By
very first one.
The great Jim Butcher.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I figured out.
Stormfront. That's the name of the book.
Of the first one? Yeah. Because I'm like, wait a minute, isn't Fool? But that's like a different book.
Yeah. Full Moon is the second book.
Yeah. Because I have two different ones on order. But what I'll tell you about it is the reason I figured out I enjoyed it so much very, very quickly. And I don't know if he was inspired by or whatever, but he has a very similar, his prose, I think that's how you would say it, is very similar to that of Dean Koontz.
Okay.
He writes very similarly where he's got, but so if you put them side by side, they overlap as far as the magical, the mythical, when those things happen. Right.
Okay.
But Jim Butcher gives you more definitive answers. Like I can only imagine what his office looks like for all these different terms, all these different magic spell terms that he's got. Like this gave me that result in this book. You know, I mean, it'd be like one of those like string boards that you'd get like from the old crime scene movies. Yeah. You know, because I'm just like, I literally started thinking about this office space and I'm just like, yeah, you'd have to have a big pegboard and there'd be fucking... Oh my God.
Not now. Back when he started doing it, yeah. Now there's entire programs that are dedicated to doing stuff like that.
Sure.
There's like Fireside and Anvil, I want to say.
Right.
And then also there was a program that I bought early on. It's meant for role-playing games, but it works perfectly for creating stories also. And basically it works like a wiki. So you can hyperlink things back to each other. So you can be like, oh yeah, Tommy Two-Tone, who the fuck is that again? And you could click on him and then it'd be like, oh, so he's related to Johnny Cash and blah, 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 whatever the fuck.
Right.
And you met him at this bar or whatever. So you could link all those kinds of things together.
Sure.
So you wouldn't have to go through and be like, okay, which fucking chapter was it that I was working on when I brought up this character? You can just click on it and it will take you all the way back and have all the associated information. It's pretty cool.
Well, it was like I said, I figured out pretty quickly that, when you look at the two, look at the two writers, you know, they definitely have a very similar prose. They have a similar fashion with the supernatural or as far as that go. But you've definitely got the one end where it's definitely you can see the age difference. Because Dean Koontz is much more refined, where he'll utilize terms, you know, like it shimmered in the light and it broke through like dawn. Like he'll be very ha-ta-da-da, but you got Jim Butcher going, it was really bright. It was like somebody turned a spotlight on in the room. You know, so you can see that age difference, but it was a good read. I would say so far, I feel as a Dean Koontz fan, and because I'm enjoying this, I would say probably anybody else who enjoys, it reminded me of reading Odd Thomas.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. I mean, Odd Thomas is also kind of a low magic level setting. Yeah. Although the Dresden Files doesn't always stay that way. It has power ramp just like anything else.
Yeah.
As long as it's a series, right? Like a lot of Dean Koontz stuff is standalone stuff.
Yes, except for the Odd. Well, he's got a couple of different series, and the one that I like is the Odd Thomas. That's what it reminded me of reading was the Odd Thomas series. It gave me that kind of comfort because I felt for Harry the same way I felt for Odd, because you know Odd was, you know, his mother was you know, and so, I don't know. That's what it reminded me of. They remind me, the writing styles remind me of each other. So I don't know if he's influenced by it or not. I don't know. I'm still hoping that now that I know how to search better for it at the library, I'm hoping to like eventually find some Larry Correa and give him a try. But right now I'm really happy at the idea of Dresden. Cause I'm just like, yeah, I remember watching a little bit of the TV show, and it's like, and it's funny because it doesn't always click the same.
Yeah.
Because it's like in the book, you've got Karen Murphy, right? In the TV show, it was Connie Murphy.
Was it?
Yeah, or Murray, Connie Murphy. I don't know. It's in my notepad in the other room. But in the TV show, the detective's name was Connie.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really funny because there's parts as I'm reading, and I'm just like, it makes sense how you've described like when you've had nightmares before. I'm like, I wonder if that's how he would have described it before reading Dresden or after, or hearing Dresden and after, because he talks about when he comes up against like demons, and it's very interesting because he talks about the way he comes against like bad people, like even if he's scared, he just plows through so his fear can't control him. He just plows through it, and it's not a pretty sight when it's done. And then it just reminds me of some of the nightmares you've told me that you've had over the years. And I'm like, you're like, you don't understand. I get very savage. And like, apparently that's what Harry does too.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like an interesting.
He has a really big problem with bullies, especially.
Yeah.
He gets very aggro around them. And the interesting thing is you like that a lot. That's the worst book out of the whole series.
I really liked it. It's like, I can't, it's like Odd Thomas. Everybody will say the same thing about the Odd Thomas series. The first book was the worst book, but I was entertained by the entire series. I cried when I should have. I got angry at the right spots. I didn't cry in any of Harry's. I laughed mostly. I mean, I'm out there reading it at 2:00 in the morning. I'm out in the living room reading it at 2:00 in the morning. And I'm like,
I mean, at this point, you haven't become emotionally invested in any of the characters.
No.
And so there's some stuff that happens later on that starts getting kind of brutal as far as for Harry's life.
Yeah.
The last book was really brutal, but yeah. So the writing gets way better because that's his very first book.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So the next two books are, I guess he wrote all three of them before he even pitched to a publishing house. And so they took him on as a new author because he already had 3 books.
Yeah.
The third book is when it starts getting really good. And after that, it gets better and better.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't like Carmichael, and I think you're not supposed to like Carmichael. I'm just like, and here's the thing. It's not because of how he talks to Harry. It's because, are you literally that fucking stupid, dude? Are you literally that fucking dumb? So I don't like Carmichael very well. I think that's normal. Morgan's okay, but I'm just thinking like, who are you, you fucking pious dick? Whatever. Ugh. Like, I can't stand people who are just like very much like, you're wrong, without even knowing the situation, with literally stepping into it.
Well, there's a bunch of backstory with fucking Morgan as to why he is the way he is.
Yeah. And
like, he was friends with fucking Harry's
uncle,
apprentice, Harry's fucking master, the dude who actually trained him, started his training in magic.
Yeah, don't think I didn't wiki shit, because I did wiki this shit.
And so he was, for one thing, dumbfounded that Harry managed to kill him.
Yeah.
And also pissed off because Harry killed him, his friend.
Yeah.
And then brought up a bunch of shit that maybe this dude was dirty, but he can't be because he's my friend kind of situation. So he fucking hates Harry.
Yeah, it's like if I got hauled into jail for being a serial killer, you'd be like, that's not right.
It's like when I was getting my security clearance interview in order to get a top secret security clearance. And
he'll never tell why.
I fucking said it many times. And the dude asked me about my friend Shay and asked me what I'd do if he was a child molester. And first of all, that didn't even register in my brain. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then throughout the rest of the fucking, eventually I said, well, I'd fucking turn him in if he was. And And then throughout the rest of the interview, he kept referring to, oh, and this child molester friend of yours, which just pissed me the fuck off.
Sure.
I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, and we have this visceral reaction about people we care about. And, and depending on how they connect in our lives, the more visceral our reaction might be.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get that. I just, like, Morgan reminded me of one of those people that was just like, the rules are the rules, which is cool. I'm all about the rules, right? I'm like, let everybody follow the rules and things will be copacetic, right? But then it was just like, it very much reminded me of, but it's whatever I say the rules are that day that are rules. And it was just like, ugh, fuck off, you pious piece of shit. But, I enjoyed it. Karen, I'm on the fence on her because, like, you can't tell if she's trying to fuck him or trying to be, like, motherly to him at some point. She gives both vibes off. Like, I really care about you as a person and I want to take care of you. And then there's a little bit more behind it. And it's just like, so I'm not sure what to think about that.
Yeah.
But I am glad he went and got laid, and I like how he was just like, and I didn't need any help with that. Thank you very much. And it was just like, it's so good.
Susan is awesome.
It's so funny the way, he talks about how Karen had sent people to check on his bar. Thank God that she'd sent people over to check on him. And then there was this naked guy laying in the street,
Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you that fucking weirdo who calls himself a wizard?
Right. Yeah, it's. I think he did a good job. I would definitely give it a recommended read to anybody who likes sci-fi, fantasy, or anybody who enjoyed the Dean Koontz series. It just, warning to let me. The gore doesn't bother me, but I also laughed at the It movies. So, but if you have a more sensitive palate towards gore, then maybe not so much.
Yeah, that one.
But there's not like that lot of, it's only very descriptive, literally about 6 pages that are macabre almost.
Yeah.
Of the whole, of this, 342 page book or 340 page book, whatever. There's only 6 pages that have macabre descriptions. Otherwise,
yeah.
And I would say, and then you can go one step beyond and break it down even further and go, there's only like maybe 2 pages that have like sexual innuendos to it. Like if you put it all together. So it's just, it's more about this story of this wizard who lives in this world. And
yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any more books that have a lot of sex in them. And there's the one book, I don't remember the name of it, where he's dealing with an investigation of a bunch of murders of porn stars. And he's actually like on the set of the porn shoot.
yeah.
I kind of almost think that he based the client off of like Rocco Siffredi.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway,
I don't know. It was a good read. So I'm glad you let me borrow the book. It was good. I tried to get it done in a timely fashion. I spent about an hour in the morning and then an hour at night reading it to get through it. And there was just a couple of spots where I was just like, there was a couple of little things I had to reread because I'm like, wait a minute, did I read this right? And I'd pause and I'd think about it and I'd be like, and so I would visualize it in my head going, wait, what? Oh, now I get it, because sometimes you have to do that with books. Sometimes there's books out there that can just, it can emote that visualization really easily. Dean Koontz does that for me because again, he has that more mature writing.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, but I didn't start the other one that you brought me to give a read to. Like I said, I randomly opened it and it was like virgins, cool. And it was like, what? I don't want to read a sex book.
The funny thing is, it was a long time ago. It was over 20 years ago that I read that book.
Yeah.
And what is it? Sonic Boom?
Yeah, Sonic Boom.
And so the owner of Palladium Books, Kevin Ciambita, he kind of got upset with the author of those novels. He's like, there's too much cussing and stuff like that in there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was actually kind of surprised that you mentioned that. But yeah, that book, I think that dude is a first-time author also. Whoever wrote that book, I don't even remember English.
Right.
Because, like I said, I only read it that one time, and that was a long time ago.
And I can tell it's an older book because the print on it is so fucking tiny. It's like super tiny, and I'm starting to think, you know, at my age, I'm starting to think maybe I need one of those magnifying sheets to fucking see shit. Because, like, as I'm reading, you know, I used to read everything up like really close, no problem, like sitting right on my chest, just do. Dresden, I was like probably a foot from my eyes, and I'm like, oh. But I definitely have to have proper light. Like, this is not enough light for me to read that small a print in, because it actually hurts.
Okay.
And it's not, and it fucking is so hilarious because I've passed so many eye exams, and they're like, oh, you got this fucking great. And it's like, maybe, and I started thinking about that because my partner was just like, said something about the light, and he was just like, well, why not just leave it like that? Because I have my little LED light out there. And I'm like, because it doesn't help me read. It should. It's not enough light. And then I started thinking about where I've had all my eye tests done. I'm like, oh, they're really bright rooms. Of course, I'm not going to have a problem reading them from that far away.
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely, because I like the sound of James Marsters' voice, and I am enjoying the story. I enjoyed the first story anyways. We'll see. You know, I can see why you would do audibles. It saves a lot of time if you can multitask like that.
Yeah, and at this point, I'm listening to books at 2 times speed, and sometimes I push it up a little bit more, depending upon the reader.
Yeah.
The other day, I found myself being like, "Oh my god, this is so slow," because it was on 1 time speed. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Because it defaults to that whenever you start a new book. And meanwhile, I had been listening to everything at 2 times speed, and sometimes when you reboot your phone, it'll fucking kick it back, and you have to do it again.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, oh my god, why is this reader reading so fucking slow? And I was like, oh, it's on 1 time speed. Jesus Christ. And so then I switched it back to 2 times speed.
So what's really funny about that is in Fear the Walking Dead, there is a character, and her name is Grace.
Okay.
And she listens to a ton of audibles, but she listens to them all on 2 times speed because you don't know if tomorrow's going to come.
Yeah.
In the apocalypse, in the zombie apocalypse, you don't know when your last day is. Plus, there's these underlying issues with her, so she never knows when she's going to die. None of us do, right?
Yeah.
And all I thought when she was talking about that, it being 2 times speed is I was like, I would not enjoy that unless it was a really fucking good book. And I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted more. But like, I'm like, I could see 1.5 times speeds for me would still be enjoyable, but like 2 times speed would probably not, because there's sometimes, especially if the pitch goes up, there's sometimes where my brain needs a second to like process.
Okay.
Kind of like the laptop recording me when I get really super excited and my voice goes way high. It's like, wait, what are you talking about, dummy? Slow the fuck down. No, I really liked it. But yeah, 2 times speed. I don't know. How are you ever going to listen to anything like a normal person again?
I mean, I can listen to normal conversations. It's not a problem.
It's not, but it is kind of like that. Normal conversation's different than listening to a story, isn't it to you?
Not really.
Really?
I mean, it's still somebody speaking, right? So.
Yeah, but there's difference. Well, because, you know, like I guess it's easier because a conversation you've got to be engaged with.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're listening to the story, it's just somebody
yapping in your ear.
And
just like music. Although I don't listen to music at faster speeds because that fucks with the music itself.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the singing, but also, obviously, if I'm going to be listening to hypnosis stuff, unless it's just somebody talking about how to do it or something, I'm going to listen to it at normal speed because pauses and stuff like that are kind of important.
Yeah.
And the like tone and pitch are also important.
Yeah.
Whereas if all you're doing is listening to somebody talk, it's not really fucking relevant.
Sorry, I could just hear you now listening to fucking hypnosis on double speed. And it talks really fast like a mouse. And if you close your eyes and count to 10, and do it again. Sorry.
A while back, I watched a Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Okay.
And he had a doctor on there who was a hypnotist. Mm-hmm. He's also like a neuroscientist or something like that.
Right.
But he's also a hypnotist. And anyway, they were talking, and Neil deGrasse Tyson on his show, he has two other guys that participate in his show. Mm-hmm. One of them is a British dude. He used to be a professional soccer player.
Right.
Sorry, a professional football player. And then the other one is a comedian.
Right.
And the comedian dude was like, so can anybody do this? And the doctor was like, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, because I was thinking about Fran Drescher. And he's like,
oh my God, Mr. Sheffield.
yeah. And he's like, you have a really nice voice. And like, I think he called it dulcet tones or whatever. And he's like, I cannot fucking imagine somebody getting hypnotized by Fran Drescher with that fucking squeaky ass voice. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Dagda, we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to count to 10. And as we count to 10, we're going to sing backwards. Do you got me, Miss?
Yeah, that would be really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
That was annoying just to do, even though it was funny.
Yeah.
You're like, no, Fran Drescher, never. Well, it's interesting because I'm like having this little conflict within myself right now. Like I tried to read a true crime story the other day, and I'm finding that as I get older, so I love the true crime, I love the serial killer stuff, but I'm not enjoying reading it because some of the writers are beyond descriptive.
Yeah.
And I feel like I understand this truly happened, and it's a truly terrible thing, right? But it's getting to a point where I'm at that age where it's just like, just knowing the basics of it's enough for me because this person was violated. And it's almost like every time you're reading that highly detailed story, it's almost like they're getting violated again. Yeah. And it's bad enough they've been murdered through nothing they've done except for existing or being pretty or saying no thank you or
They're just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Exactly. So I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, even though on the like certain writers like Anne Rule, she's very empathetic as to the victims, and she'll talk about the victims like in their family life and their history. But then what's done to them, she's like Emmy graphic on it. And she's got some hypotheses that go in there. And I'm just like, you know what? I think I'd rather keep my true crime and my serial killer to my wiki research because there are certain things they'll mention on some TV programs and they don't always go into great detail. And if it's something that catches my interest, I'll wiki it. I'll research it more. But I don't think I want to. No.
I'm laughing because you've reminded me of a game. A role-playing game.
Okay.
A pen and paper role-playing game called Fatal.
Okay.
And the dude who wrote it, I think he was a statistician or something.
Okay.
Because, so, in almost every role-playing game, when you're creating your character, you go into details about, okay, what race is your character? And I don't mean like black or white. I mean species like elf or human or dwarf. And then you'll go into like, okay, what's their hair color? What?
Do you make all your characters quadroon when you actually create them, or do you try to bring that in?
No. Usually, no. Because, well, for one thing, usually I'm playing like an elf or a dwarf.
Okay.
Although a lot of times I will play a half elf.
Okay.
I've never played an orc or a half orc. But I played other species. Anyway.
Sorry, it was just a curious question because I know when I create characters, I try to make them like who I am at the core.
Yeah, I do have them have similarities to me, I suppose.
Okay.
But for the most part, no.
Okay, so Fatal.
Yeah, so anyway, this dude who wrote this book, he has like crazy fucking shit. So, like I said, you'll have your race and stuff, and you'll have stuff like how tall is your person or whatever.
Right.
He goes into so much detail that he even includes things like penis size, like length and girth, and vaginal width and depth.
Oh my God! Like who gives a fuck?
And anal also, because built into this fucking thing is mechanics for sex between different species.
So, and why do I remind you of this book?
Because too much detail. It's like, why do I need to know the length and girth of my penis?
Okay, gotcha. I don't.
Why do I need to know the vaginal circumference and fucking depth of that pixie?
Yeah, I see, and it's really hard for me when people say fairies and pixies because even though I see them
You met
beyond,
Toot Toot.
I did, and
Toot
he's
Toot
a
is
dum
awesome.
dum.
Toot
But
Toot
he's
is
a
awesome.
dum dum.
Yeah.
But he's a dum dum. He is driven by pizza.
I mean, that's the fucking little fairies.
I don't know. So, okay, that makes sense. It is. I don't mind the details, but it's just like it feels like a lot of times a lot of these writers are really going for the gore factor. Like they're not remembering this is a human being. So you're not glorifying their life. You're not putting them on this pedestal about this was so wrong to them. When you sit there and you want to talk about 802 stab wounds to the vaginal canal that destroyed the cervix and left her a bloody mess. You're not. You're literally just verbally, you're just
It's gore porn.
You're literarily essaying her over and over and over and over again. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And-
Well, I don't think the majority of readers are reading for that. I mean, it's gore porn. So
Yeah.
people are getting off on fucking dead bodies and shit. That's
and
that's what most of the readers are.
and that's the thing that's like fucking weird to me because I read this stuff to learn more about humans, to learn more warning signs, to learn about humans. Obviously,
Well, there's huge swaths of those books that you can just ignore.
yeah, and that's why the last book I checked out for that, like I'm just like, nah, I don't.
It's like one of my friends, he doesn't like reading sex scenes.
Yeah.
So he'll basically start reading it. Oh, yep, it's one of those skip. Okay, now we're back to normal stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that a lot with sex scenes, especially if they're in an inappropriate sex scene, because I understand writers have a job to do, right? You got a job to do. You don't want to like that character because he held her down and he did not. Like, I get it. I don't need some of the details you get in some of these books. I'm like,
Yeah.
nope. And also, I'll read every other sentence until
a lot
I'm
of
through
those
it.
kinds of things can be done off scene.
Yeah. And yes, that's the best way to put it. It can be done off scene. It don't need to be descriptive. But this is going to be the 80-20 rule right here. Because I'm going to be the 20% of people like, I don't need to know that there was a penetration done so rough, it ripped the perineum between vaginal and anal cavity repetitively. I don't need to know that because all you're doing in a literary sense is essaying that individual over and over and over and over again, right? You're glorifying this assault that was done instead of saying it was assault that was done that caused certain. There's different ways to do it, and I'm trying to be really careful on how I word it on mic. But anyways,
Yeah, I don't know if they're glorifying it or not, but
unintentionally, you said it yourself. It is gore porn.
yeah, I mean,
If people
even if you're not
who are reading
glorifying it, it's still fucking gore porn.
if people who are reading it are getting off and gooning off of it,
Well, I don't necessarily. So
I don't know.
food porn isn't necessarily people beating off to food, right?
No,
So my
it's
thing,
people getting excited about food. So if you go with the principle of food porn is not about people like getting off. It's a food porn. It's about people getting excited about food and new types of food and wanting to try foods and all that. Then we're giving that same classification to gore porn.
yeah. So
like-
you're not beating off to it necessarily. It's
They're getting
just
excited by it.
not sexually. I mean, some of them probably are,
Yeah,
obviously,
and that's what scares me.
but what I'm talking about is there's a ton of people who like horror movies. They don't beat off to them. That's fucking the same sort of situation as what I'm talking about. That's what the term gore porn is.
No, I understand that, but
Just like with food porn.
I'm talking about the 80-20 rule where it is about the.
I mean, yeah, some people are. Some people are beating off to fucking balloons. It's not
They're fucking.
just because you see a clown
They're
make an
fucking
animal
beating off to fart porn.
fart cakes.
Fart. Oops. Oops. I'm so sorry. I don't know. It's just something I'm discovering as I'm getting older, and I don't. Well, compared to you, I suppose so ish. I don't know. There's always going to be people in this world that are older than me, and always going to be people who are younger than me. That fact will never change in my life. So, swallow.
Not during your lifetime, I suppose. During my lifetime, it will change.
Maybe you're gonna end up being like Bicentennial Man, maybe, or like in Altered Carbon. You're just gonna keep getting new fucking bodies.
Yep. I'm keeping getting new bodies, all right.
That's a book series I probably should read. That's a book I should probably read. Is Altered Carbon, but
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But here's the thing: I saw it in the TV show, and I love me some Joel Kinnaman, so I wouldn't want the story to ruin it for me. Because I do enjoy rewatching the TV series every now and again.
I mean, I think the biggest departure from the novels is, well, there's two big departures. His sister in the TV show isn't that same character that she is in the book.
Okay.
They combine two characters.
Oh.
And the whole nature of the what the fuck were they called? What was he called? The group that he was part of.
Oh, not Avery's.
Anyway, they weren't a terrorist organization.
Yeah. I didn't take them as a terrorist organization. I took them as I don't want to say like a rebellion.
They were freedom fighters / terrorists.
Yeah, but
in the books, in this television series, that's not at all. They were part of the government in the actual novels.
Like I literally, like, when you're watching like I think season 2 and it goes into a little more detail. Is it season 2 where they go into a little more detail?
Yeah.
And everything. I'm like, oh, these are people who did do this and then realized it's not a fair and just punishment to do this to everybody. So we need to fight for what's right. So I took them more as like freedom fighters, rebellion fighters, not necessarily terrorists, but I didn't take them in a bad way, but that's me because, I hate most things that are, if you don't do it my way, you're doing it the wrong way.
They were supposed to be the heroes, but they were fucking terrorists. Because they fucking just went and blew up a bunch of people, including innocent bystanders.
Yeah,
That's
that one lady
terrorists.
that one lady went kind of nutty.
But yeah, in the novels, that's actually part of the government, the envoys or whatever they were fucking called.
Yeah.
So yeah, but other than that, also the Poe, the hotel that he stays at.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That is such an awesome hotel in that TV series for sure.
In the books, it's the Hendrix, and it's Jimi Hendrix instead of Poe.
For fuck's sake.
And it's not as cool. That's the one thing that the television show did better than the book.
Yeah.
Is the Poe is fucking awesome. The Hendrix is pretty cool, but the Poe is way better.
Yeah, the Poe that hotel is I like Poe himself. I think they did that really well. And I just I wonder why they couldn't. Maybe they needed to license Jimi Hendrix likeness and
because they wouldn't need to do that with Poe.
Yeah,
but Hendrix still has living relatives, so.
Oh yeah, his sister's still alive, so.
Yeah, so they might have had to. Yeah.
And I can't say it on mic, but I'll tell you after mic. After mic. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I kind of thought about reading it, but then like that's the thing is like I have learned my lesson with watching something first and then reading it. It's a crapshoot whether I'm going to fucking like it or not because fuck that writer.
I mean, it's better to do it that way than the other way around. People bitch way more if they've read, if they read something and then watched it and it was fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, I guess. But here's the thing. That writer, I liked the movies way better. I gave fucking 6 hours of my life to that fucking book to literally only make it 60 pages. And that's not me. I read much faster than that.
Yeah.
I depending on the print, I'm going to read 60 to 70 pages an hour if it engages me. Not, this character's such a whiny bitch. Like, I was not going to let that book ruin the movie series for me. But it kind of has because now I don't want to watch it anymore.
There was I remember. It was the fucking, I can't remember the name of the series. The first one is like Northern Wastes or something like that. It's basically, it's a lit RPG apocalypse series. So the events that create the lit RPG aspect of the thing invade Earth, and the main character is out in like the Yukon waste or something like that, camping when it happens.
Okay.
And so when he gets initialized into the system, he's in like a high danger zone, which is not a place where you should be starting at. And so the system gives him a bunch of bonuses, which make him kind of broken. In other words, he's way more powerful than what he should be at his level. But the main character is very much an autistic dickhead.
Okay.
He's very selfish and stuff. And so a bunch of stuff happens, and on the one hand, you want to feel kind of bad for him.
Right.
But it's his own fault because he's a dickhead, right?
Yeah.
And the first few books, I really liked the series, but as it got going on and on, I got less and less interested in the main character because he was just annoying the shit out of me because he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And sure, he had bad stuff happen to him in his childhood that kind of made him that way.
Yeah.
But he's still a fucking dickhead. And so as there's been like 3 books put out since I stopped reading or listening to them. And it's like, I don't know if I want to fucking continue with his story. Even though I want to see the completion of his story,
Yeah.
I also don't want to deal with him.
Yeah. And it's like, how do you read a book when the main character is such a cocksucker?
Yeah, it's like, I fucking despise you.
Well, hey, look, if you get the 3 books, the last 3 books, if you can get them for free, just listen to them on triple speed. Maybe it's not so bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with books where if you're going to do a series of books, your character should have growth. It sounds like that character has no real growth. I mean, he literally sounds like a short-dicked man. I'm here, and it's just how it is, and everything should be like short dick syndrome.
I mean, he does save a shitload of people. He does help them set up their own government and stuff, and then moves on because that's not his thing.
Right.
So he does a lot of good. So I'm not saying he's a bad guy.
Right.
He's just a dickhead.
Yeah, which if he's on the spectrum, that's a possibility as to why.
Yeah.
Because of just the way it shuts everything. That's a possibility as why. But me, I don't enjoy books where there's no evolution in the character. Like, he can be a dickhead. So say he's one of those dickheads where he's just like, and these stupid Lilliputians. And I go there and I save them and I help them create their new government. And what do they fucking do? They invite another fucking giant to dinner after I fucking told them not to do it. I'm not helping you again if you have another giant over for dinner. I'm just saying. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing. But if it's constantly like whining and I don't like you, you're green, just go away. I probably should save you. You know, it depends on what degree of dickhead you're talking about.
Yeah.
I much prefer to have, and I think that's why I like the Odd Thomas series so well, is because you can literally book to book, you can read the evolution of him, of his self-discovery of who he is, him accepting himself, and him going, well, maybe I'm not the worst person in the world. Maybe I am useful, and maybe I do have purpose until it's time for me to move beyond. Because anybody, like, not trying to be a spoiler alert, but anybody who's read the series, you're brokenhearted for him. From book 1, I think an avid reader, any avid reader, would be brokenhearted because no matter how you can correlate it into your life, a lost loved one, a lost pet, because there's lots of people who don't have family and they're very singular in their life. And
What are you talking about?
I wasn't talking about you, but if you want to go there, it's fine. But like there's lots of people I've met in the industries we've worked in. There's lots of people I've met where it's like it's just them and their dog. So I think if you're an avid reader, then you'll have that ability to connect. And that's what I like is the evolution of that character. And I'm hoping, because I've enjoyed this first book of Dresden's, that I'm hoping there'll be some evolution, because from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, he actually did speak about, I've actually got more power than I remember. Listen here, ma ba, you know, and he really surprises himself with the wind. He's like, well, I didn't expect it to be that good. I guess I do have some power anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I like that because he's making fun of himself. Like, well, I guess I can do better than I thought. And I like the fact that he's just like, I'm nervous about certain things, but I did just fine. Thank you very much. I like that aspect because that shows me growth from the beginning to the end of the book. And literally it's like, I think it's a 5-day span. I think the book is either is a 5 to 7 day span, because I want to say it's like either a Tuesday morning or a Wednesday when he gets the call, and by everything's concluded by Sunday night.
Yeah.
So I like that in that short amount of time, he's starting to change how he's looking at himself.
Yeah, and I think the longest any one of the books, the time frame of any one of the books is like maybe a month.
Yeah.
Most of them are like a week or two.
And, you know, and it's really sad to me. So obviously 2 things. One, Dresden Files was done in a TV show for 1 season only, right?
Yep. And they were supposed to make a remake of it, but then COVID happened, or it was either the writer's strike or the COVID that actually, I think both of them happened.
Well, they happened consecutively. There was a writer's strike, then COVID, and then another writer's strike. So those are your concession of things.
Well, there was also a writer's strike before that. Years before that.
Oh, yeah.
Back when like the Loop got canceled. So I was still living in an apartment when that happened.
That
so
would have been like 08, 09, I think.
Somewhere around.
Because we had all these the last 20 years have been really weird. So we ended up having a recession, 06, 07. And then we have a writer's strike, 08, 09. Like somewhere in that region. And then, you know, we flip back and forth between democracy and republicancy. Or Democrats and Republicans. We go back and forth. And we go back and forth with, you know, like 9/11 happened in 01, right? And then we're over there and we're fighting, you know, lots of things happen in this 20-year span. And we're already repeating ourselves in history.
I mean, that's constantly happening.
It's constantly happening because we can't fucking learn from our mistakes. But anyways, but then you have the writer's strike. So you had like the little bit of recession that happened for like 3 years happened. Then you've got the writer's strike. And then, you know, you've got the warehouse crashes. The housing market crashes. Like all these things happen in a quick succession. And then we chugga and start rebuilding it. And then the writer's strike happens again. And then the markets dip again. And then COVID happens. And then everybody goes, fuck, our economy's got to move somehow. So we're going to have this great housing boom. And then we have another writer's strike. And now we're going into another recession. And we have this continual repetitive of history because we can't fucking learn from it.
Yeah.
So I can't figure out if it's because people are greedy or the people who have always been greedy are getting greedier. I don't know what it is. But anyways, I'm going to give a thank you for the recommend on Dresden. Oh, yeah, 2 things. 1, they canceled the series. But 2, they have the whole series. If you wanted to watch it, you can rent the whole series through the library. That's what I meant to tell you about.
Ah, okay.
Because I thought about watching it myself, but I'm like, I want to get a few in so I can really critique it harshly. But they couldn't have picked a better actor to play Dresden, honestly. The only other one I think they could have done if he was taller would be Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Because Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I think the writers of The Walking Dead were influenced by Jim Butcher.
I mean, it's possible.
In the first 100 pages of that book, Harry goes to a door and he goes, little pig, let me in. And that is a famous Negan line from The Walking Dead.
Okay, I mean, The 3 Little Pigs is a really old story. I'm sure Negan read it.
I'm pretty sure Kirkman was influenced by Butcher.
I mean, it's possible.
Because it's a very iconic line to do. But here's the reason why I say I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because he's definitely slender enough to fit into what Harry describes himself as.
Who's that?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah.
Negan.
Oh, okay.
Because as soon as I read that line, I could instantly hear him. And he likes his black leather. And I'm like, a leather duster's a little bit longer, but whatever. But I literally think one of those 2 guys could really bring the character back to life.
Yeah. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, actually.
He's the dad in Supernatural.
Yeah. And was it Blackthorne.
Yeah. Paul.
Paul Blackthorne.
Yeah.
Both of them are a little old to be. Actually, even Paul Blackthorne was a little old to be playing Dresden when he played him.
Yeah.
But, you can't have. You're not.
You can't have it all.
You're not gonna get another fucking.
Could you
Patrick
imagine?
Stewart, Professor X situation very often.
Could you imagine? Even though he doesn't quite fit, but could you imagine, because he's such a facially expressive person, if Bill Skarsgård did Dresden? How awesome would that be? Because his facial expressions, he's so expressive.
Actually, that would be pretty interesting. He doesn't need to be necessarily super facially expressive, because Dresden, other than being fucking angry, isn't super emotionally expressive.
No, but he talks about hiding what he's really thinking a lot. And I think that would be, I don't know, I like Bill Skarsgård too. So
yeah,
I'm like, that'd be so cool, because there's a lot of times where he's just like, because I think with the way he's able to do his facial expressions, you'd be able to see him emotionally evoke the wind. He'd have a way of doing it, I think, that would be very unique.
You mean passing gas?
You're a dick. Anyways, read a book, read a motherfucking book.
Exactly.
Have a great day.
Later.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, that's all the time we have for today. So I want to thank you for stopping by to enjoy the conversation. We're glad you're here, and please share and share again and share some more. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be having another chat and another cup soon. We'll talk to you then. Look forward to seeing you.